Well, that was a very well played series. I like what I saw. The offense has finally gotten itself going, and it will need to get going again once we get to Houston tomorrow to start a 3-game series with our despised rivals.
Yep.
What did you think about this series versus Texas?
This was a good series. The Angels played really well. The offense finally has gotten itself going. But I have a couple of questions. Why is Joe Madden not putting Shohei Ohtani down in the lineup?
Calm down.
Excel more if he's batting cleanup and you put Trout third. Where's Brandon Marsh at first, or Tyler Wade or Matt Duffy? Guys that could be table setters.
Relax.
Shohei Ohtani needs to stop leading off because even with a good series versus Texas, he's still awful at the leadoff spot. It's gotta change. And the pitching decisions. Somehow we did good in that series, even though Joe Madden baffled all of us with his decision making. And Michael Myers finally made it out in 2022, which is awesome, but dear Lord, we gotta fix these decisions that we make when going to the bullpen.
Chill.
But overall, great series. Gotta keep it up in Houston.
Thank you for your opinions over the Loyal Angels fan. Well, I did say in our first episode for you to stop bashing Joe Madden. I see reasons to bash Joe Madden still, even if we did somehow manage to show some good performances in spots during the Texas series. So we will discuss that series on today's Angels recap episode, and we will also be looking into the pitching matchups and the impactful players to watch for during the 3-game series upcoming Monday to Wednesday in the city of Houston. And now we have to hope the offense can stay consistent, because that's going to be a major factor, and I just hope it doesn't randomly dry up like it did in that first series we played against them at the Big A. Alright, let's get into the episode. The Angels win this series. The first series on the road, and the Angels win the series 3 games out of 4. The best road series I've seen all year! Alright, let's take a look at the scoring and tell you all about that. In the first game on that Thursday, Angels lose by a score of 10-5. The game started out pretty good. Mike Trout took the first pitch, one of the first pitches that he saw in the top of the first from Dane Dunning, and absolutely destroyed it to center field. Here it is.
And despite those things, Trout sends the ball to deep center field. That one is crushed, and that one is gone. Mike Trout wasting no time getting the halos on the board.
Boy, does Trouty love hitting against the Texas Rangers. That's his 41st career home run versus Mike Trout. He got himself in a very good count.
My goodness, Mike, that ball had a family.
Correct.
You monster. Well, Trout with that Titanic home run you just saw there. Angels take a 1-0 lead. Brandon Marsh gets an RBI single in the same inning to make it 2-0. And while we thought Shohei Ohtani, who pitched in this game, would continue to dominate Texas while the numbers show that he's able to do that, it was a reverse go. The Rangers would get the bases loaded in the bottom of the second inning, and might I point out that in this entire series, from all 4 games, maybe with the exception of the game today, this umpiring crew was god-awful. Some of the worst umpiring that I've ever seen since that one call to Shohei Ohtani last summer in Seattle by Kerwin Danley when he was facing Chris Flexen. You guys might remember that one from an earlier episode of Angels Recap last year. So what happened was we had 2 singles and a walk, and it brought up Jonah Heim, who hasn't been all that great of a hitter, especially last year, but Jonah Heim makes me eat my words as he takes an 0-2 splitter, one of Shohei Ohtani's most lethal pitches, and crushes it out of the yard to right field for a grand salami. I think all the times that pitch was thrown, I think last year or something like that, that pitch had only ever gotten hit like 3 times for a base hit or at all. So Jonah Heim did something incredibly rare. 0-2 splitter, gone to right, Texas jumps in front 4-2. It would get worse from this point as the Angels unable to score and the aforementioned Heim makes it 5-2 on an RBI single. So now the score is Jonah Heim 5 and Angels 2.
Bruh.
His teammates would eventually chip in on the scoring as newly acquired free agent Corey Seager would drive in the aforementioned Jonah Heim on a 2-run home run off of Brian Moran. And Nathaniel Lowe would double to make it 8-2. And Jaime Barria came in and surrendered 2 more runs. It's 10-2. The Angels completely shut down, try to make a comeback. Max Stassi does go deep in the 8th inning. Well, Stas the way, I like it, but to almost to no avail. And the Angels will lose this game by a score of 10-5. Let's go to game 2. That first game wasn't fun to recap at all. So the second game, almost the same script. The very first pitch of the game, Shohei Ohtani facing off against Matt Bush in the bullpen game of Texas. Shohei Ohtani destroys this baseball to right center field. Here it is.
Robinson Day, great to have you with us tonight. Shohei takes the first pitch and sends it deep to right field. Garcia drifting and it's gone! Don't blink. 1-0 Halos.
When I said bullpen game, guys, I was serious. The Texas Rangers used a ton of pitchers in this game and throughout the series. So Albert Abreu, who was part of the Yankees system last year, is in for the second inning. He gets 1 out, and now he faces Joe Adell, who on this 2-1 pitch absolutely sets fire to this baseball. Joe Adell has set a low to his second home run of the season, and rumor has it that ball went really, really far. Wow. That ball had a family, Joe. Have mercy. 3 Detmers pitching. He struggled a little bit. A bit of poor defense by Andrew Velazquez allows a run to score on a fielder's choice. Charlie Culberson, 2-1. The Rangers would end up taking the lead as Culberson would drive in 2 in the bottom of the 4th to make the score Charlie Culberson 3, Angels 2. And then this is where things get a little weird. Joe Maddon, not letting pitchers go deep into games, pulls Reed Detmers for Austin Warren. First batter faces Marcus Semien, he walks, and it's interesting. We're already down 3-2, the bags are loaded, Corey Seager is up. It is a righty-lefty matchup. Joe Maddon not wanting to have the killer blow occur. Guess what he does, my friends? Corey Seager is intentionally walked with the bags loaded. Oh my god. That's only ever happened 8 other times, I think it's that amount, in the history of this entire sport. And the last guy to do it, by the way, was Joe Maddon when he managed the Tampa Bay Rays back in 2008. It was against the Texas Rangers, also in Texas when they were playing at Globe Life Park just across the street from their stadium, now Globe Life Field. The Rays were up 7-3 in that game. Josh Hamilton was up, a lefty batter, Angels legend as well, and a righty was pitching to him, and he had just walked him with the bags loaded to avoid the one thing that could absolutely kill him, because at that time Josh Hamilton had a really hot stretch going. The baffling intentional walk, and every time that the team who did the intentional walk with the bags loaded, by the way, they ended up winning that game. So the baffling intentional walk makes it 4-2. Mitch Garver sack flies to make it 5-2, and then a balk. somehow. Austin Warren balks, and the Rangers go up by 4. So we go to the top of the 5th, and they bring in local product Colby Allard. By the way, he went to San Clemente High School. How about that for a crazy fact? Colby Allard gets the bottom third of the order of Jack Mayfield, the legend of Kurt Suzuki, and Andrew Velazquez. He makes quick work of Mayfield, but Kurt Suzuki, of all people, hits a home run. That's not supposed to happen. And he somehow gave up a base hit to Andrew Velazquez, which flips the lineup card back to Shohei Ohtani, who does this against the lefty.
Ohtani sends another one out to right field. That one doesn't stand a chance to stick around. 2-run shot. Second of the night for Shohei. And the Halos are right back in this one.
After Shohei Ohtani hit that home run in the 5th inning of that game, it would be Jared Walsh tying the game 6-6, so the Angels come all the way back to tie the game after giving up 5 runs, and then Brandon Marsh a sac fly to make it a score of 7-6, and then the Angels would get 2 more. Jared Walsh opposite field, he went to Jared to make it 9-6. Rizal gets the save. In the 3rd game, Angels get another win. This one's by a score of 7-2. Noah Syndergaard opposed Taylor Hearn. Hearn would need to give the Rangers some length after their bullpen got absolutely taxed in the 9-6 score on Friday. So Taylor Hearn made quick work of the Angels for the first 2 innings. We would be scoreless into the 3rd, where some small ball and an error compliments of Marcus Semien. Anthony Rendon is an out, but it's a sac fly to make it 2-0. So runs on outs, small ball. I say it helps. You don't need to have big hits all the time. Max Stassi gets an RBI on a single. That's always good to see. I'd love to see Max hit a little bit more consistently, though. The Rangers would get on the board in the bottom of the 3rd inning thanks to a double by Marcus Semien making up for his error, and Corey Seager would do some small ball, and he would get a run in on RBI ground out to make it 3-2. And we will go to the top of the 7th inning. The Angels get a RBI ground out by Max Stassi, so again, small ball coming into play. Max Stassi grounds out, and the Angels get a run on it, and they take a 4-2 lead. And then we go into the 8th inning. Matt Moore is replaced by Greg Holland. So we have Andrew Velazquez instead on base. He's at second base now, and Shohei Ohtani steps up and belts his 3rd home run in 2 games. Man, that's a hot streak. Look at Shohei go, guys. 6-2 Angels, and then in the 9th inning, Joe Barlow comes in, and he faces Taylor Ward, who bombs one to center.
Oliver Ortega's just kind of walking around down there. Swings and sends a ball to deep center field. Garcia will only watch, and that one's gone. First of the year for Taylor Ward.
Oh my ward, that ball went far.
Bruh.
Angels clean inning in the bottom of the 9th, and they get the 7-2 victory in Game 3. Alright, on to game number 4, the last game of the series. The battle of lefties of Jose Suarez, Martin Perez. And funny, Martin Perez, after he left the Rangers, absolutely kicked our butts in the few starts he had against us. But it seemed to go back to the old ways this time. Angels strike early on a passed ball. Now that's a thing. The Rangers tie on a Willie Calhoun double. Mike Trout gets the lead back on a double of his own, true hustle double. Jack Mayfield and Matt Duffy each get RBIs, and they make it a 3-run lead. But Adolis Garcia, who I mentioned a lot last year, he belts his 2nd homer of the season to left center for 3 now. And the scoring would be very quiet as we go into the next inning. 6th inning, Andrew Velazquez, the number 9 hitter, gets a run back and makes it 5-3 Angels on an RBI single. Tyler Wade follows that single with a one of his own, and it's 6-3 as Velazquez is able to score after stealing second base. And then the Angels would get insurance runs late in the game with a lot of small ball. Shohei Ohtani grounding into a fielder's choice, Brandon Marsh grounding into a fielder's choice, each netting 2 runs, and it makes it 8-3. That would be the final score as Jaime Barria is able to seal the game. All right, let's talk about our series in Houston.